Welcome to Exercise Science Advising. Things you should know about getting your degree at ETSU and exercise science. Okay, here's the deal. Well, if you have less than 60 hours at ETSU in exercise science within the degree program, you have to be advised. If you have 60 or more hours, you don't have to be advised, but it's always a good idea to stay in contact with your advisor. And also, when you contact your advisor, make sure you put your e-number in the email. Okay, here's some good reasons why you want to stay in contact with your advisor even after you have 60 more hours. One, not be able to register for classes due to prerequisite issues or holds. That comes up. Make sure you meet with your advisor and get that figured out beforehand. And also, really important is not getting at least 120 hours to graduate because you have classes that count for multiple areas. Like, for example, note taken Bio 1 and 2 that count for natural sciences, but they can also count for our major guided electives. Or you can take A&P 1 and 2 to count for your natural science gen ed, and they can substitute for human anatomy, human phys. Well, that's going to put you, if you take the exact number of classes that you need to graduate in the curriculum, you're going to finish up 8 hours short because those classes count for 2 areas. Don't do that. And you have to make that up. You can take any classes to make that up, but you have to make sure that you don't get caught in that. We've had quite a few students that has happened to. So your advisors try to look out for that. And also applying before the start of your senior year to graduate is another way to keep that from happening, because the graduate analyst will find that as well. And don't assume anything when it comes to graduating. I mean, seriously. Okay, related to the last statement, if you're a senior, make sure you've submitted your intent to graduate form and you have checked your ETSU email for a reply. Your advisors love you. However, we don't have a say whether or not you graduate. Make sure you hear it or see it from the graduation office. Now, with exercise science, here are the common areas that our students go into when they graduate. A lot of our students go into physical therapy schools or occupational therapy schools or PTA or OTA programs. We also have quite a few students going into physician assistant programs, medical school, chiropractic school, athletic training programs, clinic rehab. That's on the health and medical side. On the fitness, wellness, and sports science side, we have personal training, we have corporate fitness and wellness, hospital fitness and wellness, university fitness and wellness, strength and conditioning and sports science. We've had students also go into law enforcement, go into military, go into nursing, go into prosthetic sales and medical sales, and we have a student running a horse in the Dixie Stampede. So there you go. Okay, your advisor is determined by your last name and how many hours you have. So if you have 60 more hours, then your advisors are last name between A and D, that would be Dr. Sato. Last name between E and L, that would be me, Dr. Ramsey. Last name M to R, that would be Dr. Darwich. And last name S to Z, that would be Dr. Evelyn Sayers. For freshmen and sophomore, or students having less than 60 hours, and your advisors will be at the moment Joel Trammell and Mary Andrews. They're in the workbook, and the information is on the screen as far as how to get in touch with them. Okay, make sure you check GoldLink for holds that may keep you from registering at least a few days prior to your designated registration time. So your registration status is in the registration menu. And we'll give you information letting you know the date and time that you can register, because a lot of students are like, well, when can I register? Well, that will have the most accurate information as far as when you can register and also if you have any holds. Make sure that you then advise that you have less than 60 hours or you just want to prior to registration. Always check DegreeWorks to see how you're progressing. It's like having your own electronic advisor, and it's way prettier than any of us. Also, don't smoke in bed or anywhere else for that matter, and look both ways for you across the street. Always good advice. Okay, stay on top of your academic work, seriously. You're in great shape if you have no idea what to do with your life and you finish your degree with like a 3.9, 4.0. I mean, that's fine, because there's nothing you can't do pretty much with a GPA like that. But if you're like, I want to go to PT school, but you're finishing with a 2.9 or 3.1, it's not going to get you to PT school. So make sure you stay on top of your academic work. Don't sacrifice grades for trying to finish in a certain amount of time. Create and improve good study habits always. Find your study place and schedule that time to study. Review your notes and read the book. And seek help. The Center for Academic Achievement in the library at ETSU, just past Einstein Brothers Bagels, or whatever the bagel place is named now, offers tutoring for anatomy, physiology, biology, chemistry, calculus, English, microorganic physics, probability statistics, Espanol. But wait, there's also tutors now for most of our PXS major classes. So if you need any help in our, within the major, we probably have some grad students that are going to be working over there that can help you out. So check out the Center for Academic Achievement. If you're an athlete, check with Nikki Stewart and Humphrey Center, because we have tutors working over there as well, because we love you guys. Okay, DegreeWorks. Seriously, use DegreeWorks. If you don't, you're fired. See what classes you got left. Don't walk into your advisor's office without having any idea what classes you need to take. Check out DegreeWorks. It will show you what classes you have left to take and come up with a pretty decent idea of what you need to take. And even coming up with your schedule is kind of a good idea. We can't do that for every one of our students. So, yeah, that was good for you. Okay, here's curriculum for exercise science. This is from our old check sheet, which we still have. If you want a paper check sheet, we can give it to you. But most of this, actually all of this information is located on DegreeWorks now. And so this has the major core and concentration courses, guided electives, and the general ed requirements listed on the sheet. So as a note, you need to take Health Sciences 3000 and 3020, which are human anatomy, human phys, or A&P 1 and 2, prior to taking our Exodus 1 class, EXS 3610. And from the guided electives, COBH 4030, which I think is community health, has a prereq of COBH 1010, which is lifetime behavior for healthy living. So just, FYI. Okay, the general ed classes. Students have to take all 41 hours. On the back of the check sheet, and also listed within DegreeWorks of the classes you need to take, and I'll show you those classes in just a sec. Now, if you're a transfer student, you feel you've taken classes that are similar to gen ed classes, you can petition to have those classes count. So it might not have made the first cut when admissions did their audit of your transfer classes, but if you go to the Advisement Resource Center of the ARC and the CULT Center and ask to get in touch with someone about reviewing some transfer courses, they can point you in the right direction. You may be able to get some classes counted for the gen ed that didn't count on your initial review. Okay, so the gen ed classes are listed here. I'm not going to read them off, but yeah, there they are. Now, I did put stars by the common prereqs for physical therapy because we have so many students who want to go into physical therapy. However, always check with Joanna Cyrier. She is the pre-PT advisor. If you're going to go to PT school or OT school, because she can definitely point you in the right direction, because sometimes prereqs change. And prereqs aren't the same for every PT program. These are ETSU's prereqs. They're fairly common, but they're not all the same. But they are biology 1 and 2 for science majors, general chem 1 and 2, physics 1 and 2, non-calculus. The classes in the social behavioral sciences are, you need 2 of those classes to fulfill the gen ed requirement, and if you take those 2, that will not only fulfill the requirement for social behavioral sciences gen ed, but it will also fulfill the psychology requirements by taking that HDAL, adult health psych class, and the psychology intro to psych class. And then for the math, if you take probability and statistics, well, there you go. That will take care of the statistics requirement for PD. But once again, always check with Joanna Cyrier or the pre-PT advisor. Okay, now the major classes. So these are the major core classes. They can be taken at any time during your 4, 5, or 12 years at ETSU as an undergrad. And they're pretty straightforward. Any class is going to be hard if you don't study for it and don't prepare for it. So study and prepare for these classes, but they're pretty straightforward. The concentration classes, these, with the exception of the bottom 3 classes you'll want to take starting your junior year. Now, the bottom 3 classes, Principles of Nutrition, Human Anatomy, Human Phys, or you can substitute A&P 1 and 2 if you're not going to PT school or don't plan on going to PT school. Those classes you want to take prior to your junior year. But then the rest of them you'll take starting your junior year with typically Exodus 1 fall semester of your junior year. Now, Exodus 1 is the only class that we really don't offer every semester. We offer Exodus 1 in the fall and the winter session and the summer session. All the other classes we offer both fall and spring. Here is a suggested four-year sequence for the exercise science concentration. This is just a suggested sequence. Chances are you're probably not even going to be able to follow this because you may want to go to a school when you graduate that requires prereqs, and so you're going to be taking some different classes. So this is just suggested, kind of help you out a little bit, but you probably can't follow this to the limit. Guided electives. Okay, so these classes, we have 9 hours of guided electives. You can choose from any of these. We've included quite a few of the prereqs for PT, for medical school, for PA school, and for OT school, and quite a few other programs. If you don't have any prereqs to take, like for example, if you're going to OT school at Milligan, the only class you really want to take off that list and need to take would be like medical terminology. So you could take any of those classes. You could take social psychology for sport and leisure, medical terminology, and lifetime behavior for learning, for example. But follow your heart on this. And once again, just as a note, you want to take AMP 1 and 2 or human anatomy before you take Exodus 1. And yeah, anyway. Okay. Make sure that you've taken process nutrition, human anatomy, and human phys prior to your junior year. And also know that if you're not going to PT school, which requires human anatomy, human phys, that you can take AMP 1 and 2, and we can substitute those for human anatomy, human phys. So there you go. And make sure you check your prereqs for anything else you might be interested in. Oh yeah, that's another thing. You may be interested in going to, say, PA school, and schools are going to have different prereqs, so we're not going to know those. We're just not, and we can't remember all that stuff. Even the pre-PT advisors, will have just sheets of different schools and what the prereqs are. Some are pretty common, but some can be a little different. So make sure that you just go to the website for the school you're thinking about applying to and look it up and get that information and make sure that you are getting those prereqs in. Okay, if you want to take over 19 hours, which is a limit, that's the max number of classes you can take or hours you can take in a semester, you'll have to contact Joel Trammell and Warren Pickle under 321. He has power of signature for the dean to sign off on things like this, taking more than 19 hours. Now, you're a shoo-in to get this permit typically, as long as it's not 30 hours of classes, whatever, even 24 or 25. If you have a 3.4 GPA or it's your last semester, you have to graduate, and you need another class to graduate. If you had a lower GPA, it may take a little more talking, so you'll definitely probably want to meet with Joel Trammell yourself, and maybe contact your advisor and ask if that's a good idea. And remember that whole thing about making grades is more important than finishing a certain amount of time. Also, submit an intent to graduate form to the graduation office prior to the end of your junior year, and you can access this online through DegreeWorks. Permits. If you've been permitted to a class that is full, here's the deal. You'll have to type in the CRN number for that course in the add drop page on GoldLink. You can't just go to look up class and then click on the button next to that class or the box next to the class because it's going to show up as closed. So yeah, even if you have a permit, it'll show up as closed. And that also works for the internship courses. You just can't click on the box next to the internship courses because they're never open. You type in the CRN number for the... Okay, just remember, don't assume anything when it comes to graduating. Seriously. Good luck. Go Bucks. And yeah, love you, mean it.